websites are like billboards. If you look at the corner of Yonge and Dundas, downtown Toronto, there's a lot of billboards up there. And if you have a billboard there with your company, Century 21, and you're getting calls, and you have another billboard on maybe Maine and Dundurn someplace, it's generating leads for you, then why not? So I'm suggesting that all brokers and salespeople in the world consider websites are like billboards. They can be triggering leads for you. You can have more than one. You can link them to your other ones. And if you have more than one, it helps generate traffic for all of your websites. We actually support all of your websites. So if you have websites now, we support them. We suggest you add this as part of your portfolio, that you have another one. These things work automatically 24 hours a day, updating themselves 50 to 100 new listings a day, and you don't have to do a thing except one thing: log into it a minimum of once a month for 5 minutes. That's it. If you do not log into it once a month for 5 minutes, the listings can go inactive. If you don't log into it once a month for 5 minutes and look after that little to-do list, your domain name can expire. The website can go down. And it's happening to brokers. They don't look after it. They don't give it the importance priority that it deserves. I'll be showing you some of these websites in a moment. It's one of the most important tools on the internet. Now, you'll see on the right-hand side, the third bullet down, it says that the websites are free for 3 months, and then how much after that? Pardon me? $19.99 per month. Yes, sir. So if you want to keep it. So in other words, if you join ICIWorld and don't get a website, you could do that. If you join ICIWorld, you get a website free for 3 months anyways. Why not try it out? Now, most of our members don't even pay that $19.99 there, because there's a special of $199 per year for the website. It's separate from the $240 joining ICIWorld. So you see that on ICIWorld you can be placing your information. If I click on Search Ontario Haves and Wants, you'll see categories of all of this stuff. And you're going to see such things as apartment buildings, people that want to invest in real estate. A lot of people buying homes, they want to invest someplace. Well, they're investing in the stock market. I'm going to suggest that you start to get them to try to invest in real estate. And you'll notice that there's about over 900 apartment buildings from $27 million on down. Isn't that interesting? Now, the majority of these are not on real estate boards. If I click on this, let's just see here. Hang on. What does that say for control? Where's control? Right there. Control? What's that say? Exclusive. So you got thousands of exclusive listings here. It's the biggest collection of exclusive listings in real estate in Ontario. Now, next thing. Let's say you're trying to list a triplex, a duplex, a fourplex, a 20-unit building. You're talking to the owner of one. Watch this. What does this say up here? Wants? These are buyers. Does anybody have a buyer for anything in commercial real estate right now? Anybody at all? Give me an example of what it is that they're looking for. Multi-unit. Minimum and maximum number of units, how many? Up to 4 units. So 2 to 4 units, that kind of thing. That can become a want for you. In other words, you can place your want on the service, and the owners of properties can call you. You could get a call and say, I noticed you have a buyer for a fourplex in Hamilton. I happen to have a triplex. Do you think they might be interested? Do you want to come over and give me the idea of the price of my building? We have a readership of about 50,000 people on a regular basis. There's over 20,000 emails going out to the industry a day. There's 28,000 listings on ICIWorld, and it's busy as busy can be. I'll give you an example. One broker told me in his case, he put a $4 million shopping center on the Toronto Real Estate Board, and he got 4 calls. He put that same shopping center on ICIWorld. He got over 30 calls and sold it. Doesn't mean that you don't not put information on a real estate board. You should include them all. You never, you know, marketing, isn't it like fishing? You never know where your next buyer is coming from, but you want to cover all your bases. So this can be used in a listing presentation. If you showed this to the owner of a building, how well connected that you have over, you know, over 200 or almost 300 buyers of apartment buildings, that shows how well connected you are into the marketplace of buyers. Other real estate people say, oh yeah, we've got a whole office of 20 people and we've got buyers in our office. You actually can print them out and show them. Now, here's what's exciting. On the front of this brochure, what does that say about it starts with the word provide. You all have existing websites now, right? I think you have Century 21 websites. Everyone here? What does that say, provide? Provide all of these listings from your website. So in other words, you can take the 28,000 listings that are on ICIWorld, right? And you can put them on your website. And there's a special way that we do it. We don't allow those numbers to be clicked on. If we do that, what does it mean? If we put these listings on your website, but remove the names and numbers, did you hear that? I've got to make sure you understand that at the back there. Oh, you're not an agent? Oh, you're just listening in. Oh, okay. As your administration, is that correct? Okay. What you're going to be doing in the future, and why I'm so glad that you're here, and with Tom's indulgence, where is it here? 1 second, please. Here it is. There we are. Let's pull them out. It's called a have sheet and a want sheet. These are the things that make you money. Okay? They're going to make you a lot of money. I've had people make over $1 million just using these sheets. I do another seminar called Diamonds on the Floor in a Broker's Office. You have one buyer for a duplex, triplex right now. You should fill it in onto a want sheet like this. And you can delegate it to your administration to put it onto ICIWorld on your behalf. Your big job is to recognize important information and write it down. That's the first thing. If you drive by a for sale by owner and you ask the owner 3 questions, write it down onto a have sheet without the address. And then you can delegate it to your front office to get it on to ICIWorld. So it's kind of good that you're here. And what you should be doing is saying, listen, do you have any buyers or sellers for anything? Because they're whipping in here, making phone calls. They've got 3 buyers, and they're the only ones that know about your buyers, just you. You're keeping it a secret from the industry. You know, one of the largest deals, you'll find this interesting, Tom, is a lady, a RE/MAX salesperson, just like yourself, and she was a lady, and she bumped into a buyer. She had a business, a piece of property for sale, commercial property with the business in it. Anyway, somebody called her, and it turned out to be somebody who was really looking for a $20 to $100 million office building, because this business was in an office, and he called her. He says, if you ever find something, let me know. What does that become? Wanted, $20 to $100 million office. It becomes a lead. We call it a want. Very important. She put it on ICIWorld. She had some people from Manhattan, believe it or not, New York, call her. She's a salesperson like this in Toronto. But she took a shot at it. She got all the information, sent it all out to me, says, tell you what, I'm going to pick you up. We're going to go right to New York, and we're going to look at them. And they did. Came back after a week, didn't buy anything. The market was so depressed, it was incredible. She left it on ICIWorld. Another month later, she had a mortgage broker call her with a building in Toronto. 3 buildings for $75 million. What's the difference if they bring you 3 buildings for $75 million or 3 buildings for $750,000 or a triplex for $75,000? It's just the zeros, isn't it? The analysis of it is being done by the buyer. Big time. Big time. And we had a broker from Hamilton that did not know what a net operating income was, and he found an apartment building and sold it for $9 million in Scarborough, a Hamilton broker. And he did not know, he was a salesperson, he did not know what a net operating income was. But because the person knew him in church, he wasn't going to buy a building without him. He trusted him. He found the building. Now, the buyer knew what he was doing. The seller knew what he was doing. The lawyer for the buyer knew what he was doing, and the lawyer for the seller knew what he was doing. The accountant for the buyer knew what he was doing, and the accountant for the seller knew what they were doing. But without that salesperson in the middle, nothing would have happened. Nothing. We are the ball bearings of society. Salespeople are. We help things flow, information flow. But you have to be experienced on how to handle information. You put an address on the internet, that's what everybody's doing, throwing addresses out there and everything. Is it generating calls for you? If it's your own property, put the address. Why not? If you want to. But even then, I suggest no. Why? When you advertise in a newspaper, do you put addresses in a newspaper? You do? Anybody else? I'm asking. Have you done an ad in a newspaper? Are we that new? Or you could be. Okay, you're that new. How about yourself? You put addresses in? Yourself? Both? I'm suggesting that you actually don't put addresses in a newspaper. It's a professional difference of opinion. We each can be right. We can each disagree on a professional point of view. My position is this, but we do a lot of commercial. If I put an address of a $2 million building that's not on MLS, it's an open or exclusive listing, and somebody knows the address, I'll tell you right now, there's an ocean of people on the internet, and there's sharks in that ocean, and they're just waiting for you guys to put an address. What are they going to do? They're going to go right around behind your back and talk to the owner. And it's happening all the time. So if you have a $50,000 commission at stake, $10,000, I don't care what amount, that's like money. And your information is money. You got to protect your information. People will smile at you. They'll give you a glass of wine and try to loosen your tongue so that you'll give them that address. What I'm suggesting is that you trigger the lead to your office first. Qualify the people first. Then when you know who you're dealing with, if you want to give them an address, at least you know who you introduced to the property during the term of the listing. And a guy says to me, well, I have an MLS listing, Gary. I says, yes, but it has an expiry date. So if somebody talks to your owner and he says, by the way, do you mind asking me when your listing expires? Oh, in 2 weeks? If you don't mind, I wouldn't mind coming back in 2 weeks, and if it's still available, I'd like to talk to you. I have something in mind that I'd like to offer you. Okay? He walks away. You go up for the listing on the day before the listing expires and says, and you got your whole long list of everything you've done. I've advertised here, 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 and here. I've done this, 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 this. I've done all these things. And you wonder why they don't want to list with you. Relist. Could it be that he can't tell you about this other person that talked to him during the term of the listing? And it's happening. So if you have $10,000 at stake for you and your family income, I'm suggesting to protect it.